What's up, dudes? I'm going to teach you guys how to use the map editor, how to use the exposure controller, how to use the graphics, all three of those things harmoniously to hopefully create some cool night shots. I just haven't seen any YouTube videos or tutorials really, and I want to get this out there for anyone that's new to the modding community who's trying to figure out how to get night footage, how to make it look good. I'm just going to give you kind of a crash course in what's taken me a good 6 hours to kind of figure out. We're going to go at easy day high, and we're just going to light up a spot. What spot should we do? I want to do something random. No. Should we just do this stair set? Yeah, we'll do the stair set. Both? No, just one. Alright, whatever. We'll do one stair set. First thing I'm going to do, I hit the R button, pull down. I use the exposure controller. I pull it down to where I can still see it, but it's darker because I want to be able to see it because I want to know where I'm going to put my lights. I pull up, so you got to be in your character. You can't be choosing a point. You pull up F5, the map editor. This is where it gets kind of a little bit trickier, but you go into props. I use point lights more often than spotlights. Spotlights are really harsh and it tends to overexpose, and you can obviously like widen a spotlight out, but I can't control them as well as I can control. So you have the courthouse lamp, which is this one. So you can get that. If you hold R1 and you hit down, you can get it to where it's on the ground and you can move it around anywhere you want it. Really, if I wanted to put 2 over here so it's aesthetically pleasing, I could do that. I don't necessarily use the lamps very often. So I get out of that. I hold R1, X deletes it. Usually I use the point light. So with the point lights, these ones you can control a little bit better. So once you get it, you can kind of put it anywhere you need to just by holding R1, using your right thumbstick, control it where it needs to go. Once you get it to where you want it, from there you can go in and intensify it. And again, because we didn't necessarily make the exposure controller all the way dark, we're gonna make it so it's a little bit washed out. It's overexposed right now with the lights that we're setting up, the point lights. I'm gonna go in, do another one, and this is where I feel like people get confused, and where, at least for me, this is where I got confused. When I originally set up a point light and it wasn't perfect, I would just go in and do another one, and I didn't know how to go back to my first one and edit that. This is how you go back. You go to scenes. In here are all your lights, so you really want to do less is more. The more lights you're working with, the more you're going to get confused. And typically, at least if you want to keep it raw and realistic, a skateboarder is going to have like 2 lights, maybe 3 lights. I don't know, maybe Ty Evans has like 10 lights or something for some of his weird videos. But like, you want a spotlight, a backlight, a fill light. And all of them are going to be different intensities. But the idea is that, say I decide I don't like the first light, I can click on it. Then from there, I can now manipulate the first light, and I can change where it needs to go, how intense it is. If I don't like the first light altogether, I can just delete it, because I have that option, because I don't have 80 different lights that I don't know which are which. There's other types of lights. You can do the spotlight. This is the work light, which is just a funny looking light. It doesn't have an extension cord or anything like that in this world. It I don't know, I guess it runs off batteries. I have no idea. But same exact thing, you can manipulate this one, move it around. So you turn the objects with the left stick, and you can move them with the right stick, and then up and down is specifically with the D-pad. So using the D-pad to go up and down. Once you've placed it, simply just let go of R1 and you can move on to a different object. These ones are a little bit like the spotlight in the sense that in order to really see anything out of them, they're pretty harsh. overexposed. But we'll just pretend that, yeah, that's a work light. I'm going to add that spotlight in, or the point light that I had. And that is too much right there. So let's just loosely keep it like that. So my character is going to basically take off at the top of the stairs and ride out right here, ish. And we're not going to do a light at the top of the stairs because I'm going to use the graphics. So when you come in here the first time, it's going to look like this. And the first thing that you want to do is you want to enable post-processing, which allows you to get into the map editor and utilize the graphics. You go to preset, click new preset. The only things that I've messed with thus far is probably all the things that are up. Vignette. I use the vignette, so I turn that on. From here you can adjust how much. I use the lights, but let's actually get back to where I can see my character to see exactly what. And keep in mind that I am going to go with the exposure controller and go a little bit darker because I just wanted to use it too light, right? So with this, turn it up a little bit more, just so you don't want to get this washed out look like that. It's overexposed. Lens distortion on. It's maybe a little much for me. Yep. So we'll keep it like this. And then you can just do a bell right down the first stair. I forget how short this one is. And just tray flip it. Oh, let's get a slow one. Boom. Alright. Now I got that. Get out of this. And this is something as well. So sometimes you're going to go back and forth from this and kind of tweak it some more once you get to the camera editor, because you don't necessarily like the frame, or you don't like, see how it has this a little bit of this distortion on the lens, which is cool for this effect, but when you can notice, so you can kind of hide it with the vignetting if I do that more. But again, I've seen modders do that to the point where it's just hard to even watch because it just does not look real. A fisheye lens is supposed to be 180-degree view, and that's it, nothing more. But it's all subjective, right? So I've got my light set up. There's my dude. I'm gonna go wherever. Yeah, right here. Oh. Oh, it went through my foot. Damn. That's a bad example. That is not a good shot. I'm gonna get on the other side. Straight on this side. This is seriously like I'll do a trick pretty quickly, but this is the part that's fun to me, and this is the part that I spend the most amount of time and I get the most enjoyment out of, is just trying different angles, different lenses, and just filming the trick different ways to kind of get like what pleases me, what's inspiring for me to see, and what makes me have that holy shit kind of response feeling in seeing a trick. And and that's kind of probably why we all play this game. But so that's probably a better angle. I'm still gonna change. I think I'm just gonna do long lens on this. You get the point as far as setting up the cameras. So I'm gonna go in lens distortion off, vignetting off. Usually when I'm doing these shots that are panning, I'll set a session marker at the beginning, then I'll set a session marker at the end. So I know that I'm going to be going the right amount of speed the whole way. Then I'll just tweak it and say, now that I already know where I'm going, I'm going to kind of zoom in on this guy right here. So you can still play with it. Make sure that you're, maybe zoom out a little bit. If it looks right there. And something else that annoys the crap out of me, this is just me being nitpicky though, when you have a fisheye lens, and I've seen a lot of clips where people will finish their trick, and because their trick is finished, they stop filming and they stop setting key frames, key points. You want to set keyframes all the way. Anything that you're going to use, the camera should be moving at least a little bit. It's never going to be completely still because this is supposed to be a filmer, not a robot, not a video game. You know what I mean? So you want to keep that movement of the camera. Even if the person's riding away, have the fisheye move a little bit, you know? It shouldn't be completely still like that. It should be a little bit of tweaking going on. Even for the ride away, something should be happening on camera. Unless it's locked in on a tripod still shot, something should be happening. So that looks good. It looks a little weird with the work light and no extension cord, but, and then I'll slow it. Tray flip done. Let me know if you have any questions.